everybody, we are now live for the first time here at Active Motion. This is really exciting, slightly nervous, not gonna lie to you, but it is an exciting time. So we are live on Facebook. Soon we will be live on YouTube while we do this as well. But welcome to our newest segment. It's called the Honesty Hour. And what this is it allows us to answer your questions directly, but not necessarily the questions you might want to ask in a group setting. So it's questions that are deeper rooted and things that you really want to get to the bottom of that will change the quality or the output or things to do with your day-to-day lives. So it doesn't necessarily come down to what can I do for this pain or that pain, but the bigger picture questions, and you'll get honest, unfiltered, raw answers from myself about what you could do. So we opened this up to a few people and opened it up through social media of what questions you would like to be answered today on this live. And the one that we have picked has come from a young gentleman of 63 from Bournemouth, and his question is, how can I change the quality of my life? We're going to come on to that in a minute, but first and foremost, just to bring you up to speed what's going on in our world. Next week, we have our biggest free educational class going on. We actually have had to run it twice because it's been so big and the uptake has been so great, which we are so grateful for. On Monday, the 23rd of February at our Eastleigh Clinic, which is located in Places of Leisure in Eastleigh, we will be running a diabetic neuropathy, nerve-related free educational class, not just with myself, but with a phenomenal expert from the US, Dr. Collins, who's going to speak about the topic himself as well. You get to ask his questions, ask his questions, get him to answer them, and so that you get a tailored approach to you and your issues. So, recap that, 23rd of Feb at our Eastleigh Clinic, we have a free educational class taking place at 1:30 in the afternoon and 6:30 in the evening, all about neuropathy, diabetic neuropathy, and things to do with nerves. So sciatica, femoral nerve, carpal tunnel, all of those things. Get your questions answered and get to learn a bit more about those things as well. If you want the link to that, then send us a DM and we will send you the link to reserve your seat. We have a couple of seats left. We can only hold 20 in a room at one time, so hence why we've had to put this on twice. But thank you for listening to that. If you need us, you know where we are for that. Send us a DM, we'll send you the link. So, on to the questions from today. And the topic of today is, how do I change the quality of my life? I'm going to break that down a bit. With my background, it's more going to be down to how do I change the physical health of myself? How do I change my physical health so that I can then change the quality of my life? What we need to do is definitely look at that from a musculoskeletal point of view to start with, for utilising my background. So I've broken this down into 3 sections. 1, how do I get back to the quality of life that I deserve? 2, how do I enhance that a little bit? And then 3, how do I really take the needle up 1% at a time? What's really going to enhance my well-being, my health, and my quality of life? So ultimately, what we first need to do is we need to analyze where we are. We need to analyze what our current situation is. We need to analyze, where am I from a health basis? Where am I from a physical movement basis? Where am I from a quality of life basis, ultimately? Am I independent? Am I not? Am I in pain? Am I not? Am I already at the quality of life that I want to be at as a level playing field for me to then build on that and go further with it? Where are you within that? So for example, if we start with, I need to get out of pain or I have poor mobility to get me back to my quality of life. So what quality of life did you have and or want? Can you do all of the activities that you love and enjoy, or functional day-to-day activities that you need to do in order to be independent, self-sufficient? Can you go up and down the stairs? Can you get out of a chair? Can you walk the distance that you want to? Can you get up from the floor so you're not struggling to fend for yourself if you were to fall over, for example? that's stage number one, and we'll go into details around that in a little bit. Stage number two is, how do I do things at home that can improve and enhance my quality of life? So we're now out of pain. Is going to be a case of, is my nutrition in a good place? Am I taking the right supplements if I need to? Am I exercising? Am I moving enough? Am I strengthening enough? Have I got all of these foundations in place that are really going to move the needle the most? Or have I not got that and I need to implement that, and how do I do that? So if we do have those things in place at home, what's the next step? And this is where we are looking at longevity to really increase our well-being and the quality of our life. So that might look at, what equipment can I use? Can I use a hyperbaric oxygen chamber? Do I utilize red light therapy? How do I improve my sleep quality within that? Then into things like metabolic health, which I was phenomenally grateful to spend time with a good friend of mine called Lou, who has just educated me even more in this space of how do I really start to improve my quality of life through metabolic health. And that's something that I'm now going on a journey on as well. So where do we start with all of this? Firstly, how do we get you back to the quality of life that you deserve? And that comes down to doing a bit of analysis of what your current situation is. What are my pains stopping me from doing? How are my pains influencing my day-to-day? How are my pains affecting my quality of life? How are my pains affecting my sleep? How are my pains stopping me do what I want to be doing ultimately? Then you need to find the right person or people, support network, to get you back to the quality of life that you want. And if you don't know how to do that, then you're going to need to find somebody that does. And the thing around finding somebody that does is, with the way that the medical industry is at the moment, there is 1,001 different types of practitioners or clinicians out there. And the ultimate question is, how do I find the one or two or three people that can actually help me get from here to here? Who do I know to trust? How do I know to trust them? And everything in between. And so what you need to be doing is establishing, how do I know that they're the right person? So what we do to help people understand what we do, and for us to work out whether we can help you, is we offer a free consultation, whether that's online, on the phone, in person, because we want to know your story and we want to know that we can help you. We want to have experienced the things that you're suffering with, and be able to show you how you can get from here to here with the right stepping structure. How do you know that they're the right person for you? Is through allowing them to build trust with you and show you that they care. So the biggest thing in healthcare at the moment, from an NHS perspective, is that they don't have enough time, they aren't able to ask you questions, they can't do any hands-on stuff, and most of all, they don't show empathy to the situation that you're struggling with. You're in a one-size-fits-all model, and so you need to find somebody that has the time, the energy, and the commitment to you, as well as you giving them the time, energy, and commitment back. Because it is a two-way street. We can't get you to where you want to be without you putting the work into. So what we do is we offer a free consultation to allow us to analyze your situation and whether we are the right fit to help you, but also for you to find out whether we're the right fit for you. So are they giving you upfront trust, empathy, support? Then it comes down to skill set. Do they have the skill set? Now, a long time ago, I would have said certain professions did certain things. So a chiropractor will see you for your back. An osteopath will see you for your back. A physio would be good for musculoskeletal issues as a whole. A sports therapist would be great for rehab. Now it's a case of they can all do that, but do they do it in the way that suits you? Some are still stronger than others in those aspects. Completely agree with that. But for example, I spoke to a lady yesterday for sciatica. She was getting massage from a massage therapist in the nicest way possible. It's not going to eradicate the whole issue if your sciatica is coming from your lumbar spine, not just the muscles affecting it. It can help. I'm not denying that. But is it going to get you to where you need to be? So you need to determine and maybe speak to a few people to work out who is the best person for you and what's the right avenue for you to go down to try and see how you get to that next step. When it comes to improving mobility, there are people that can help you with that. We are able to do that, for example. But it's probably actually, you could look at videos on YouTube. You could find a personal trainer. You could use AI these days to create a mobility program for you. It's whether it's right for you is the right step. So you might still need to speak to a qualified professional in and around that. But that's how we get from not knowing where to start to where to start. And then they should be able to help you get back to the quality of life that you deserve. The bit on top of that for us is we want to keep you there so you are stronger, you are more mobile, you're not just out of pain. Because it's all well and good being out of pain, but we don't want to then see you again for the same issue longer term. And you don't want to do that either. The next step really is, how do we get you to maintain that quality of life and enhance it a little bit without having to go whole hog into loads of different things, but also have a good significant change to it. And that's where we start to look at things like protein, nutrition, supplements, exercise, movement, strengthening. So if we go back to Patrick here, he is over 50. He is looking to make change to the quality of life. So let's say he's out of pain now. If you then were to look at where the biggest needle movers would be from here forwards, one, increase your protein in your diet. So those over 50 tend to eat less meals and size of meals, volume of meals, and they tend to eat less protein within that. But what's actually happening within their body is that their body is slowly starting to degenerate. It's eating its own muscle. It's starting to waste away its muscle. Okay. Same with bone density. It's starting to remove some of those fibers quicker than it can actually put the fibers back into the body and rebuild. So we need a higher protein intake to help that demand of rebuilding muscle. We need to exercise, and we probably need to look at some form of supplementation for bone density, so calcium. We might need to look at creatine for brain function. Creatine is not just a muscle building gym goer's supplement. There's a lot of research these days supporting that it helps with brain function and efficiency. So that I might start to look at. But the biggest one really is movement and strengthening. So with movement and with strengthening, as we age, we tend to move less and we tend to do less resistive training or work. And it's not actually that we're getting older for why we feel more stiff, more immobile and start to lose strength. It's actually because we have started to do less as we age. I see 89-year-olds, 90-year-olds in the gym outside of this door next to me who are the most mobile and independent individuals that I know. And the reason why they are that way is because they've been doing their movement and their strengthening for the last couple of years. It doesn't mean that you can't start now. If you started now, in 5 years' time, you'll be a different person. By the end of the year, you'll be a different person. Within 3 months, you'll see changes. It's just that consistent nature and discipline in how you can then get the quality of life change that you're looking for. And that can all be done at home with things like, shameless plug, our Strength and Independence program, or something that I prefer to call our Strength and Thrive program, that gives you the tools and the knowledge and the skills and the information to do all of the strengthening and movement stuff that you need to do as you age from home. So you don't have to be in a gym if that's not the environment for you. Not everybody has to be. You can do the right things from home. But the biggest needle mover there for me really is the movement and strengthening for those over 50. Then we can start looking at supplementation. But if you're going to do the movement and the strengthening, ensure that you put the protein in your diet in order to aid that muscular rebuilding that you're looking for. Then the next needle mover really is looking at longevity through equipment and the 1% gains that are really going to compound over time. So if we look at my well-being routine now, I use a hyperbaric oxygen chamber twice a week, and I use red light 3 times a week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is red light. Tuesday, Thursday is hyperbaric. And that allows me to get significant improvements in sleep quality. My sleep has never been better utilizing that routine. My skin quality is a lot better through the red light, but I have a degenerative knee. So I have a knee that is, let's say, 50 years older than I am. I'm nearly 30, okay? I've had knee pain since I was 13. I had an operation and 2 injections which all failed. And the last time I did anything for my knee was nearing 10 years ago in terms of medical advancements. Yes, I do strength training, which helps massively, but red light helps with my knee as well. It helps dampen down my day-to-day pain and gives me an energy boost. Both of those modalities, hyperbaric and red light, give me an energy boost like nothing else. I drink coffee. If anybody knows me, I drink a lot of black coffee, but there's nothing like the energy boost I get from hyperbaric and I get from red light. I also get insane levels of mental clarity from hyperbaric. I feel like, the only way I can describe it is I feel like I am walking on clouds in my brain. So I can actually channel my thinking and be very specific and strategic, rather than the way that my head normally works. Again, if you know me, it's like a scattergun here, there and everywhere all at one time. The next thing I'm moving into, through a conversation with Lou, who I've already mentioned, is metabolic health. So assessing and utilizing tools, in this case supplementation, in order to make myself more efficient and effective at my internal body processes. So the one that we're really looking at to start with is insulin resistance, because it is linked to a whole host of things like inflammation, joint pain, chronic fatigue, mental clarity, neuropathy, diabetic neuropathy, skin tags, skin quality, the aging patches, the dark patches on your skin as you age, a whole host of different things, as well as weight loss and adipose tissue, fat tissue around your organs. So looking at ways in which we can become more efficient and healthy from that aspect. There is a supplement that we're looking at and looking to work with, which has had extensive research on it with insane results. And we've got case studies of people with results that are actually more efficient and effective human beings right now. And so we're looking at that and how we can utilize that. And I'm looking at that personally. So that's the next level of steps that you could look at in order to change the quality of your life over time. Let's see if we have any questions around that, because that is a lot of information to take in. Okay, so the question being, what's just come in? What is hyperbaric? What is a hyperbaric oxygen chamber? And what does it do, essentially? Okay, so a hyperbaric oxygen chamber is an environment that you sit in that is a pressurized cell where you're breathing in up to 96% pure oxygen. Why would you want to do that? Is because you're then flooding your cells with more pure oxygen. So at a cellular level, they can actually be more effective and efficient. And so it can speed up healing processes if you are in an inflammatory state, or if you've got pain, or you're in chronic pain, for example. But for me, I'm in pain, but I deal with that on a day-to-day basis. I am looking at how I can be a more effective and efficient human being, so that I can help more people, I can help my staff, I can run my business, I can be the better dad that I need to be, the better partner I need to be, and be more engaged as a whole. And that allows me to do that because I get an energy increase through my whole body, and I can actually be more present and more effective utilizing that energy. I then get a better sleep quality out of that as well. So then the longer term effects are compounding because I sleep better, I feel better, and overall my whole level of well-being improves. My mood level also improves massively when I utilize that. I utilize that in conjunction and alongside red light therapy. And if you use red light therapy first, you're giving more energy to your mitochondria, which is a cell in your body, the powerhouse of the body, to work more efficiently. I then give that more oxygen, and it can it can utilize and absorb that oxygen more readily, so it can become even more effective on the back end. So hyperbaric oxygen chamber is something that you flood your cells with oxygen to make them more efficient in whatever they are trying to achieve. Healing, energy, output, whatever it is. Okay? All right, so where are we next? Hopefully that answers that question. Where do I even start with my pain? We've kind of looked at that previously. So find somebody that is a good fit for you. You need to work that out through how they provide you with empathy, support, build the trust, and then making sure they've got the right skill set. That will get you back to the quality of life that you deserve. What's metabolic health and how can I improve mine? Great question. Metabolic health, as we've already kind of stated, is how your body's internal processes and levels of hormones and stuff like that work. So the first thing that we're looking at is insulin resistance, which can affect everything from chronic fatigue to diabetes to weight loss to menopausal symptoms, and we'll come on to that in a second. But ultimately, we're looking at how much insulin is left in your bloodstream and not being broken down. So you eat a meal, you probably have a high spike of insulin, and then you have a crash down afterwards. And that crash down can actually be the reason for why you go hungry or hangry, let's say, between meals, because you have a massive spike, and it's the rapid increase that then causes a massive crash that makes you feel like you're hungry, and that your mood significantly drops as a result of that. But changing this insulin resistance level can actually have a massive effect on your whole quality of life through changing different things on the back end. So if you reduce down your insulin resistance level, you will potentially lose weight. And the reason behind that is because you have a better hormone balance and insulin level balance, and you can still eat the stuff that you want to eat if it's the right stuff, obviously, and do the right level of exercise. But you're also going to become more efficient, so you can utilize that energy level better and that glucose level better. The other things to think about is if you have a better hormone balance, things will start to shift. So we talked about menopause. Let's take hot flushes, for example. It can reduce down your hot flush frequency. Therefore, if you reduce down your hot flush frequency, how much better you're going to feel as a whole, and how much better you're going to be able to operate on a daily basis without having to worry about where I'm going to have a hot flush, how am I going to feel, am I going to have to take this with me or that with me or whatever. So there's a whole range of things that this can start to look at. Like I say, I'm quite new to this, and I'm going to be looking at this more myself because it's the next step for me, and I'll talk about that on my journey as we go through. So yeah, there's different levels in how you can go about improving your quality of life. You just need to assess where you are. Are you in pain? Is that or you've got lack of mobility? Is that the bit that's stopping you from going from where you are now to the quality of life that you deserve, or is it something else? If you're there, then how do I get from here to enhancing that a bit without having to really change a huge amount of things? So that might just be more active, more movement, strengthening, improve your nutrition, increase your protein intake. It might be looking at what supplementation you can take. But then it's how do I go from, yes, this is my new normal at an enhanced level, to the next step. So for me, for example, like I say, red light therapy, hyperbaric, oxygen chambers, and now I'm looking at metabolic health. Right. hopefully that's answered some questions. If there is any more questions, do let us know. We can answer them on another live. But thank you for turning up. This is the first live that we have done. They will be happening twice a week. The next one is on Thursday at 2 p.m. Get your questions in. Let's see what we're going to be talking about in the Honesty Hour. Remember, if you want to be part of our next free educational class on neuropathy, nerve pain, diabetic neuropathy, with not just me, but Dr. Collins, who's flying in from the US. We have that on Monday the 23rd. It's been so popular, we're running 2 sessions at our EC clinic. One is at 1:30, the other is at 6:30, Monday the 23rd. If you want access to that, send us a DM. We'll send you the link so you can reserve your seat. But be prepared, they are going very fast because we can only have 20 people in the room. Right. Thank you for your time. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And I will see you on Thursday.